more music.
Oh my god.
Here goes.
Blazing across the airwaves right now. Get ready.
Now this is Freddie McGregor, and you're tuned in to the baddest rhythm of all time.
Grant's Rock Warehouse is trying to change the world one track at a time.
Are we on the air?
Yes, you are. More music, more of the time.
Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Don't understand what's going on here.
Welcome to Grant's Rock Warehouse and to another episode in our Move series. Tonight we are live and we are going to be taking a look at two more records, Looking On and Message from the Country. We're just trying to turn you on to stuff. Heck, there might be a couple of little bonus tracks for tonight too. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's get started. The Move.
Serving up riffs hotter than Hellfire Chili with a beer chaser. Grant's Rock Warehouse.
Now
Wow, that's quite a track, I must say that. What a way to begin the show, kids. There you go. There, Jeff Lynne joined on this round. That means anything. But this is the second episode in our Move series. Actually, when we were doing this, we originally did the whole Electric Light Orchestra series, so go down and check that out. And then we've moved to the Move, and we thought we could do all 4 of the Move albums in one show. Yeah.
No.
That was impossible. These records are so incredible. They're actually on another level. In fact, you must say that the Move Looking On, this as a track, monumental. So we could go through the history or we could not, but just a brief thing. So we're looking at Looking On. This was released December 1970. This was the band's 3rd studio album and the first to feature Jeff Lynne as a full-time member. Now, this is also the first Move album consisting entirely of original material. This was recorded May through September 70 at Advision and Philips Studio in London. The reason they got Jeff Lynne into the band is because, they were going to do the Move. That's how they got Jeff. But they still had to have to satisfy the contract that the Move still had. I do believe that is correct. Marco might know more about it. But I do believe they still had several Move albums to complete before they could make that transition to ELO. That is correct. Am I right, Marco? I do believe that's true.
Yeah, and it's funny. And I think I might have mentioned this when we did one of the episodes on ELO, but I believe they were even still contracted to operate as the Move while ELO was operating. And I think they ended up making an agreement and getting out of that deal. But this, I think, was the start of Roy and Jeff had a conversation about forming a band, which became ELO, but they were contractually obligated to finish up this contract. And this was the first album, which I always thought it was interesting that Shazam and Looking On came out the same year, but Shazam came out right at the beginning of the year, and this came out right at the end of the year. And Shazam took like a year of recording before it came out. But it was interesting because just on the topic of that contract, I believe the idea was that ELO would be like a touring band and they would still write and record as the Move. Even when Roy Wood left ELO, I think they were still under contract to continue the Move, but I think that was quickly dissolved and they made some type of an agreement or something like this. So the interesting thing is we may have had a timeline where the Move was operating with Jeff Lynne and Roy Wood and ELO was operating with Jeff Lynne, and maybe Roy Wood would have put out Boulders or Wizard or something like that at the same time. But from what I understand, that was part of the deal, was that it was even still supposed to continue even past when ELO started, but it did not. That's what I read from those books anyways.
Yeah, because the last singles, I do believe, Do Ya, because they were still the Move, and they were still operating at the same time. I think Do Ya came out in 72, a single. And, they were still trying to satisfy that contract. But
I think they either did Top of the Pop or like TV performances as the Move while ELO still existed. Yeah. So like they were both existing in the same, at the same time.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're just going to go around and we're going to get, first of all, let's see how everybody's doing in the chat. Christian, nice to see you. Kathy's here, of course. Bobo's here. Tia, nice to see you. Gosh, Webb's even here in the chat. Be damned. Two Wire Nuts is here. All right, cool. Anyway, so let's just go around. I'm going to throw down, I guess I'll go to, what the hell? Let's start at the Parish, damn it. Parish, how are you tonight? We had a little bit of, I don't know if you're at your in-laws, because every time you're at your in-laws.
I'm at home, and I don't know why, but my laptop decided it wasn't going to communicate with StreamYard. So I could hear and see you, but you couldn't hear and see me.
You heard everything we said about you?
Yeah. Did you hear all of what we were saying?
And it's all true, I have to say. But that's a show for another day.
Sure. So, what's your whole thoughts on this record? We're still gonna, we're gonna play that track. What the hell? How could we not play this other track as well? What's your whole thoughts on this record, Parish?
As is the case with The Move, I love this album. I do think it's a strange album. It's got quite a few different sounds on it, but I think Roy Wood is killer. I think he's at his peak. His vocals are good. Or fantastic, the guitar playing, the songwriting. Jeff is finding his feet. I think the songs he contributes are interesting, but I don't think they're as good as the Roy Wood songs. So we just heard Looking On, but that's followed up by the strangely titled Turkish Tram Conductor Blues, which I just think is well, it's a bluesy rocker, but I really like that. That's probably my favourite track on the album. What I like, that's a Jeff Lynne song. I like the difference in sort of pace between the verse and the melody. Although, funny enough, listening to it today again, suddenly, I don't know why, but it suddenly reminded me of Ian Dury's What a Waste. I don't know if Ian Dury was influenced by it in any way. And then, I mean, it's all rockers as far as Roy's concerned. So when Alice Comes Back to the Farm is another really good rocker. Definitely a proto sort of ELO sound. Excellent vocals. Brontosaurus, which we played last time, and I guess we might be playing later. I'm not entirely
I think we're gonna. Well, how could we not play it again?
Exactly. Well, that is another fantastic upbeat rocker. Feel Too Good. I keep saying the same thing, really. Just another strong.
It's just fantastic.
Really soulful backing vocals. And then there's the hidden track, the Duke of Edinburgh's Lettuce, which is kind of a bit like Duke of Earl meets early Queen. I mean, it's really weird, but fun. So, overall, I love this album. But I think it's the Roy Wood songs that really stand out on it.
Yeah, I think Jeff was brought in. Yeah, there's some Jeff Lynne tracks on here. But I think Jeff really came into his own on the next record. And we'll be talking about that shortly. But hey, I like this record. It's heavy. I mean, come on, Looking On. How heavy? That's heavy. You know? Oh, fantastic. Anyway, what would you rate this album out of 10, Parish? What would you give this?
Because I want to leave a little bit of headroom, I'm going to give this a 9 out of 10.
Perfect. All right, excellent. Let's sort over to Webb, get Webb's thoughts on this. And if anybody in the chat, you know how we do this. This is kind of, you know how we do. This is like a Dark Horse episode. Anybody who knows this record, go ahead and give us your score out of 10 if you've heard it. Now if you don't know this record, don't give a score, because we're all working on this together and turning people on to stuff. So Greg is going to give it a 9. All right. Anyway, go ahead. Webb, what's your thoughts on this?
Well, this was my gateway album into The Move. So this is the first thing I ever heard by them. I don't know how I fell into it, and I had the CD and I can't find it. And I know I said that last show and I'm still looking for it. But when I heard Looking On, got the CD and that thing kicked in, I was like, what in the hell is this? And I loved it. I mean, everything about that first song, it has a little bit of everything. It's like a kitchen sink. And, it went on for a while and I didn't get tired of it at all. So going through, I'm not going to go through every song.
No, you don't have to.
Because Parish just did, and I agree with him. I really, really love Open Up and Save the World. I just think that's really cool. I mean, that Jeff Lynne, that piano line is so proggy. It's got everything in it. Brontosaurus, of course, and I love Feels Too Good. That's Jeff Lynne playing the drums, by the way, on Feels Too Good.
Oh, so I didn't know that.
That's a little nugget for you right there. And the only song when I would listen to it, I maybe would skip over What, but I went back and listened to that. I'm like, I don't know why I skipped over, because this is a pretty cool song too. I mean, this top to bottom, this is probably my favorite. I like the next one too. I like just about everything they do really a lot, but I would give this also a 9. I would totally give it a 9 out of 10. And I've never grown tired of it. Love it.
No, I could play it all. I could play it. I never get tired of it. All right, Marco, what's your thoughts on Looking On?
Yeah, I played the hell out of this album. And well, all 4 of the albums, especially probably the Shazam, this one, and Message from the Country. And yeah, I think it's fantastic. You mentioned that it's heavy, and it is heavy. But what I like about it is it's also kind of loose and jammy in parts, like especially on the longer songs, like Looking On, or sorry, Feels Too Good. And it's also, they're not a heavy metal band, so they're not like restricted to heavy metal rules. Like they didn't throw all the instrumentation out the window. Like they use like piano in it and stuff like this. Like they had the, like courage to use piano on the kind of what would almost be a heavy metal album, and I think it complements the music when you hear the other instruments. It's proggy, and I know there's some interesting instrumentation on it. And again, like Roy Wood writes most of the songs, but I do like the Jeff Lynne ones too. Like What was mentioned just by Webb just now. I kind of find that's like a sister song to Message from the Country, and they remind me of things that you might hear or similar sounding to things you would hear on the first couple of ELO albums. So like I kind of like to group, especially ELO 1, in with kind of this version of the move, obviously without the big string section and the heavy reliance on like those classical movements and classical music that they do on ELO 1. But I kind of lump these 2 in with ELO 1. I probably like these 2 better than ELO 1. I also like ELO 2 a lot, which I think that's where ELO gets really proggy. I think there's only like 5 tracks on that album. But yeah, I like the production is interesting. It's self-produced. And when you go from Shazam, which is sonically just sounds amazing.
Oh, it's beautiful record.
It is there's a contrast there. It is maybe a little more rough around the edges with the production. But overall, like instrumentation's fantastic. The songwriting's great. It's creative. It's out of the box. It's a little proggy. It's a little heavy, but there's still kind of cool and weird stuff in there too. So for me, I've gone back and forth debating whether this is my favorite Move album or Message from the Country. Today, I think I'm probably feeling Message from the Country a little bit more, but yeah, I would give this like a solid. I love the Move, so for me, maybe it's biased, but I would give this like a 9 for sure.
All right.
One of my favorite Move albums. One of my favorite albums. I played the hell out of this.
All right, cool.
With all the bonus tracks too, all the singles and stuff.
Yeah, and they were recording. They were recording this at the same time as ELO 1, right? I mean, that's they were doing both. I think that's what I'm not sure,
but they definitely were.
I thought Message from the Country, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's the next album they were recording at the same time.
They were working towards it, but I don't think.
Okay, hold on. I got it right here. Wood reflecting on the work they were pursuing in ELO, the debut album of which they were recording at the same time as Looking On.
Well, he had also recorded Boulders too, right? And that didn't come out until a couple years later.
Yeah.
So I think it was at the same time. Yeah. So according to Wiki, but Wiki could be a little off.
I forget. We were talking about this. We're going to talk a little business real quick, but did we talk about after we do the move to do the Roy Wood stuff?
Yep.
Wizard,
or were we going to do Wizard? What were we going to do?
But I would lump Boulders in there for sure.
I think we could treat Wizard and the Roy Wood solo material as one, just like how they came out chronologically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. That works.
There you go. A little bit of tease, kids.
Let's do it.
Well, even the Roy Wood solo material, let's be honest, it's fantastic. Anyway, what do I think about this? Well, the key tracks on here, there's a lot of key tracks. The standout track is which we're going to play. I cannot not play it, but we're going to play Brontosaurus. I like it too much not to play it again. Standout single got to number 7 in the UK. It's heavy. It's heavy like this track. Cheap Trick covered it. Open Up said The World at the Door. Jeff Lynne. Epic atmospheric prog track. Jeff on lead vocals. Of course, we just played Looking On, which is a wild. what a wild track. I mean, we've got electric sitar on it. We've got, I think the rhythm parts are all bass guitars. This is that whole era where Roy Wood was all into playing bass, and they were all distorted basses. I don't know. There sounds like there's like 3 different basses on it playing the rhythm part.
Spinal Tap. Yeah, it's like Spinal Tap.
It's kind of like Spinal Tap. But I don't know. I think the whole damn record's good. Feel Too Good's great. What is... Maybe Jeff had some better tracks later, but geez, I think it's great. When Alice comes back to the farm, I don't have any issues with any of this stuff. Let's play Brontosaurus, and then we'll circle back around. We have to play it. We just have to. Brontosaurus, kids. The Wizzo Band, yes. There's bass guitars all over this. You like that? Jay is saying, and lumbering strings on the ELO debut. You have to admit, Roy had a certain style on this. So what would I give this record? I would have to also go with a 9. I mean, what could I not? It's fantastic stuff. So we tally it all together, kids, and we've got a 8.7. I'm happy with that. I think we can all agree, everyone here and in the chat, we could recommend this to somebody. And that's really the whole point of this whole show. So, I know you gave it Jay, why are you giving it so, I got your 7, you're bringing down the whole score though.
Damn,
Jay. A firm 7. God, he's hard to, oh, Jim's coming with a 7.5. Well, I could put it in there. All right, so now we're an 8.5. Oh, an 8.5. Okay, well, we'll change it. All right, I'm done putting score. We got another record to talk about. 11 better. Well, I want you to go with what you think it is. You know, I think it's low, but I don't know. I like it. All right. Next record we're going to, oh my God, my thing just flipped away. We're going to go with Message from the Country. So this was released June of 1971. Session started in June of 70 to May of 1971. This is the final studio album by The Move. And at this point, it's Roy, Jeff, Bev, and Roy handled most of the bass. Of course he did. And a whole array of instruments, saxes, recorders, oboe, clarinet, bassoon, steel guitar. You get the idea. This was produced by both Jeff and Roy, and it was recorded amid the ELO sessions. That's what I'm reading here. Some tracks like Overture originated here but moved to the ELO. So anyway, a lot of overdubs on this record. It's very layered. It's complex. Basically, you get the idea. I think I'm going to before we play a track from it, I'm going to throw it over to Parish and get some thoughts on this record. Parish, what's your thoughts on this next record?
This album is, I think, one of the weirdest albums in my record collection. It's got 60s psych. It's got prog. It's got Beatles songs. It's got 50s rock and roll. It's got country and western. It's got early Queen. It's got lots of hooks and big choruses. So I think it's a really weird album, but I do love it. I think it's a great album. And it opens with Message from the Country by Jeff Lynne. And I think Jeff's now coming into his own as a songwriter with The Move. Very Beatles, really good opener. And then you've got Ella James, which is a Roy song. Love the riff on this. The guitars sound fantastic. I like the way the vocals switch between poppy and rocky. Again, bit of a Beatles feel. I won't go through every track like I did last time, but you've got a Bevin on there, Don't Mess Me Up, which is just an Elvis rip-off in effect. And could have been done by Darts in the late 80s, Darts in the late 70s, Shaking Stevens in the 80s. But I love the song anyway. And then another kind of weird song that stands out is Ben Crawley's Still Company, which is absolutely country and western. But amongst all of that, you've got some really good rock songs. And I think maybe their heaviest song with It Wasn't My Idea to Dance, Another I Would. And I think on that song, he's giving Ozzy a run for his money for heavy metal vocals. Back in 71, I think it's that heavy. And then you've got a song right at the end, My Marge. And I'm convinced Queen must have heard that when they were thinking about their sound and how they were going to form Their songwriting style for the future, very 1920s in its format. And as I say, right, you can see Queen must have been influenced by it. So love this album. I'm going to give this a 10 out of 10.
Gee, holy crap. Wow, that's a good sign off the bat. Let's turn it over to Webb, get Webb's thoughts on it, and we will then play a track. Webb, thoughts on this record?
Yes. I love it as much as Looking On, and I kind of think it the same way. It's very weird. It seems the same way as Parish said. It's got some crazy stuff on here, as you would expect, but Message from the Country is this. I know you played it on listening parties and stuff, and I think I requested it for 71. Even. I mean, it is just a masterpiece with all those vocals at the end. And it's just a beautiful, trippy, cool song. Psychedelia, unbelievable. Ella James is cool. I like Until Your Mama's Gone. Parish didn't mention that one. Has, it's just a little shuffle. And I just think it's a cool song. It has a little steel acoustic picking in it. The Minister, which is a classic by Jeff Lynne. And then I like Words of Aaron. Don't sleep on Words of Aaron at the end. A little chugging piano by Jeff Lynne, and it's just double vocals. It's a total Jeff Lynne masterpiece. And it's hard to rate this album too. I'm gonna give it a 9. I'm gonna give it the same as Looking On. I don't think I can really, kind of like Marco said, I go back and forth between which one's my favorite.
Okay, perfect. I can handle that. No big deal. Why don't we go ahead and play Message from the Country? Please chime in. Please give us your rating out of 10, but only if you know this record. We're just trying to turn people onto stuff and try to turn people onto the Move catalog. It's the whole goal with this show. Anyway, Message from the Country, the title track, 1971, kids. Here we go. There's that bass. Webb's got stuff to show. Oh. Sister, I have touched the cool guys. And I promise that it's life should go on sing. Now it says the birds upon the fire, and the message from the country rises higher. It's practically all bass guitar. Roy loved bass guitar. Fire. had no idea, Kathy. Ooh, still going. Kind of psychedelic, kind of Beach Boysy. I guess those background vocals to me seem more Beatles-like than Beach Boys-like. Though, Roy did go through a period where he was very much into Brian Wilson. And we will look at that down the road. All right, cool. So we have a 10, we have a 9, we have an 8.5 so far. Anybody in the chat that knows where you would rate this record, we will take ratings. I'm going to throw it over to Marco now to get his thoughts on this record and his rating out of 10. Marco, take it away.
Yeah, one thing I don't think we mentioned was, which was evident on that song, was how good the harmonies were in the move.
Yeah,
especially at this time. And I think this is just a fantastic era and period of all these guys involved, musical career, Bev, Roy, and Jeff. I mean, like, it's a trio, but it does not sound like a trio. These guys are so talented musically and multi-instrumentalists that, like, there's a full production here with, many musical instrument arrangements. And like this album maybe is a little bit less proggy than Looking On. Like, the songs are shorter, there's more songs, but the songs are still so full, that it's still, it sounds as proggy as Looking On. And I just think that this album is probably my favorite Move album. And you got two guys, Roy and Jeff, who had a similar work ethic when it came to music. And I think I even read in the book there that, like, they would spend hours and hours and hours working on, like, a song or a sound, and Bev would leave to the pub and grab some beers and come back and they'd still be working on it. Or Roy would go to Jeff's place for a weekend with, like, a couple of bottles of wine, and they would just work on music until, like, the sun came up. You know what I mean? So these guys, I think they had a similar work ethic, and I think they had really good creative chemistry. And it's unfortunate that, later on, the tension within ELO, tension from management, tension between Roy being the star and perceived leader of ELO, that kind of ruined that creative chemistry. So it would have been interesting to see these guys work together for a bit of a longer period. Look what they did for like 2 years. These guys were together, and look what they did. They put out, 3.5 amazing albums. You can count ELO too. Roy started writing and recording that album before he left, I guess. But and the singles from this area are fantastic too. Like Tonight, Chinatown, California Man. Like, there's just really good songwriting from two of my favorites in the music industry. And to me, this is like, maybe there's, from depending on what angle you're looking at it from, maybe some of it could come across as pretentious, maybe from another angle. Like, I was a fan of the band. For me, a lot of these songs were more epic. Like The Words of Aaron were mentioned, Message from the Country. So this is a fantastic. From my musical taste, this is a great, interesting album. A lot of different stuff going on, but it still kind of fits together. And I'd give it like a 9.5 out of 10. But I'm a huge Move fan. I'm a huge fan of Roy Wood, ELO, right? So for me, this is right up my alley. This is up there with some of the best stuff that I love from ELO, some of the best stuff I love from Roy Wood, some of the best stuff I love from the Move. So this is solid 9.5 for me.
Yeah, I agree, because this record, I think, has to be, to me, this seems like, we've had a lot of changes. Shazam seemed very much like a group effort. The previous record was basically the debut album was just really a comp of just all the singles. This seems like a fully realized Smooth album because Jeff got his feet wet on the one prior. He's now fully incorporated into this record. You get a lot of Bev. You get a lot of Bev's vocals. Now, come on. To listen to Bev saying, for one, it makes me just laugh, but two, I love it. And him doing like the low parts on some of these songs, because the thing you kind of miss with ELO is where's Bev? Other than drumming, I want his vocal parts. It's a different animal. Plus, you mentioned a good point, Marco, with ELO. They put out the first album. It's okay. Well, it's a good record. This is a much better record than the first ELO album. You can just quote me on that. But it was a project they never really other than Jeff, but Roy never got to see it go to what it could have became. And if Jeff and Roy continued working together, what would they have done? Where would it have went? We wouldn't have had the same ELO, but the creative forces here would have just been fantastic. Who knows where it would have went?
Like, I think before Jeff joined, there was a lot of pressure on Roy to write singles. And I think when Jeff entered the band, all of a sudden, here's another guy that can write songs. And I think that was a breath of fresh air for Roy. And I think you can tell they really delved into the creativeness of writing songs and being brave with where they took the music, because it is weird. And I think ELO, if Roy stayed in the band, probably would have got weird too, because I think Wizard's way weirder than a lot of the stuff ELO was doing.
Wait till we get to Wizard and all that stuff. God, I can hardly wait.
And I don't mean that in a bad way.
No, it's good. It's a good thing. But Roy kept going. He kept being creative, and he got way out there. Let's play another track. We're going to play, here we go. We're on a Jeff Lynne kick right now. Let's play Minister. Again, if you haven't heard it, let us know what you think. Fantastic Jeff Lynne pen track. Ladies and gentlemen, The Move. There's that bass. That's how you look at it.
Tell me the story, mister.
some reason, this reminds me of I Am the Walrus. This song reminds me of I Am the Walrus.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I mean, this could have been recorded in 67, you know?
Yeah. Bev was going crazy at the end of that. I mean, that he was just going off.
I like it. West Coast Dave's not familiar with it. Oh. Wait a minute. Brian, what are you talking about? I bought Monkeys records and Beach Bits.
Probably Beach
what?
Beach Boys, I'm sure.
Oh, you can't type. Because I thought you were wrong. Redemption because of your episodes. I was wrong or what?
No, you were right.
Can you interpret that for me, Webb?
I speak BMAC.
What's
saying he sorry, I cracked myself up. He thought you were wrong, but you were right. He went and got him thinking you were going to be wrong.
I'm not wrong.
He likes it, so you're right.
Oh, yeah, I'm not wrong. No. Right.
I could have just said you're right.
Hey, Kelly, nice to see you. You saw going to the Wallflowers concert tonight. I saw the Wallflowers for free, open for Cracker at Stashes in Columbus, Ohio. Won tickets through Singing Dog Records. And Wallflowers no one knew who they were. They hadn't had any hits. They were all right. I don't know. I knew who Cracker was. Cracker was really good. Thank you for doing this show. No one knows who I'm talking about when I mention them. My rating is 8.5. Fantastic. 8.5. What time is it? 52. We might have enough time to crank out another track. How do I look at I do want to play another track. Now, after this whole time period, they did have some singles up into 1972. My thoughts on this record, I think, like I said, this I think is the perfect Move album. It's fully realized. We use all the members on it. And they just seem like they're all working really well together as a whole. I would give this, God, is it perfect? Shit, I'm going to give this a 10. If this is the best Move album, this is a 10 for me. You can't go wrong. There's nothing weak on it. I like Shazam too.
Yeah.
All right. We got a 9. All right. Yeah, Shazam is brilliant too, though, but for a different way. But think about this. They wrote all this stuff on here too, right?
Yeah,
I think so, right?
Yes, they did, yeah.
Don't forget, Shazam is mostly a lot of covers. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's play, I'm thinking let's play another track. This is a Jeff Lynne track. Now, this was a 45. Down on the Bay. This was a flip side. We should play this because this is good. This is a Jeff Lynne penned upbeat rocker B-side to Chinatown single. This came out October of 71. Kind of has a Chuck Berry feel. Very energetic. but it fits into that era's rockier side. It almost could be like on a Roy Wood album. Great live energy. They performed it on Beat Club back in the day. Let's just play it. What the hell? If you know a certain band out of Rockford, Illinois, they used to play this live in their set all the time. So check it out. Let us know what you think, and we'll wind. All right, here we go. Steel Company's fantastic. Yeah, we'll be all right. Just crazy.
In this life I've
lot more raw.
Look out, baby, there's a plane coming.
All right, kids, we have reached the end of this show. Both of these records we can recommend. What do we have with, what is our final tally? Oh, Message from the Country comes in with a 9, and we came with an 8.6 for Looking On. So there you go, kids. Anybody here want to mention anything before we wrap it up? Next month, we will be back. We will be starting the Roy Wood catalog, and we'll be looking at Wizard and the Wizzo Band. And we're just going to start from at the beginning and work through. So I guess we'll probably do 2 albums. We only can get through 2 albums during a show. So anybody have anything else you want to talk about, promote, or anything? Webb, you got anything else you're on? Coming up on?
I don't know. Coming up with you a couple times the next couple of weeks.
I know, something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Parish, do we have anything coming up? There's something.
Okay.
You're muted.
Yeah.
We've got Be-Bop Deluxe, I think, coming up in the next
Yes.
week or so.
Yes. Be-Bop Deluxe is, thank you for keeping me on track, Parish. We have started the Be-Bop Deluxe series, and go back and check out that video that's down below. That was fan-freaking-tastic. But we are continuing that. That'll be next week, so tune into that. Parish will be back for that. Marco, anything else happening you want to talk about real quick while you're here?
We just got the Contrarians. There's something up
That's
every day, and I'll be back for 70s UK bands, I think.
Oh, yeah. Mark and I started a new series. Go check that show out. That got a lot of views for the Warehouse. 70s UK bands that it's basically little known bands that you should know, but all UK 1970s bands. So it's the UK version. Fantastic. Mark will be back for that. We will be doing that. Ladies and gentlemen, there is so much going on in the Warehouse. I have so much hand coming out of my glove. I don't know how I do it. Anyway, please like, subscribe if you have not. We have a Patreon. If you'd like to support the channel that way, please do that. We also have a Ko-fi. Buy us a pint or a cup of coffee. That'd be fantastic. We're just here trying to turn you on to stuff. We're just trying to keep it real in the feel. Anyway, thanks everybody for coming. What's up tomorrow? Oh, tomorrow, Angie Moon will be back. We'll be looking at Spandau by LA. That'll be tomorrow at 7. And then there's all kinds of stuff. Just know what's happening. All right, we'll see you, kids. Panel, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure. And we'll see you on the next one, kids. See you.
English disc jockeys have been aware of the move for years. Anduya, their most recent single, introduced American disc jockeys once again to the vibrant, pulsating rhythms, which is true English rock and roll.
In this life, I'm seeing everything I can see with I'm seeing lovers flying through the air hand in hand.
The Move have a new single called Tonight, which promises to leave the Move's biggest mark yet on the ears of America. You can hear both Tonight and Anduya, plus 10 more equally marvelous Move songs on Split Ends. Their latest album available now on United Artists Records and Tapes.